So Liverpool with the victory, and they had 63% of the possession. They had 13 shots to Newcastle's 14, 7 of those on target, 4 for Newcastle. Not much in it in terms of expected goal. You'd imagine the first half and the second half has showed quite a big difference in that. Liverpool with fewer touches in the opponent's box and not too many more passes in the final third. But as well as the 3 points and the 2 goals, on the return of Virgil van Dijk, you'd imagine they'd be pretty happy with the clean sheet. Van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold are with Jeff Shreves.
Virgil, Trent, when you've lost your last 3 away games, and you come and beat the side who are unbeaten at home, and in fact you're the only team to beat them all season, so that's the double over them. What sort of result is that?
A massive one for us. I think this was a big one. You know, we got our win against Everton. I think that was a massive one for us as well. I think, and it meant nothing if we came here and never backed it up with another win. That's what we came here to do. You know, tough side to beat, very tough, but we picked them apart. 2 good goals, and then obviously red card settles the game down for us, makes it even harder for them. So, you know, it was difficult, tough place to come. Not many teams come here and win. So, no, we're delighted to take the 3 points home.
Virgil, do you agree with that? This feels like it could be a significant result.
Let's hope so. I think we had results during this season already where we felt like now is the time to kick on. But this feels a little bit different, I think. Coming away from the big win against Everton the other day, you know, it was important for us to keep going, find a way to win, show the intensity, especially in the beginning. You know, we were standing, and obviously the red card changed the game a little bit for them, but also for us. And we could have done better, but to win here, there's a reason that we are the only team so far this season that beaten them. So I'm very proud of the boys. Now it's time to recover, quick turnaround, and then we focus on Real Madrid.
What do you think is that reason? And you say you could have done better. What could have been better?
Well, obviously it's a bit of a, I won't say a mind game, but obviously when you play against 10 men, you sometimes the sloppiness creeps in because you have the ball a little bit more. You play a lot of passes, and but you have to try and do the same things. But it's difficult, and we can analyze what we want, but we have a difficult season so far, and to win here, be the only team that beat them this season, we can be proud. And we take it, and we move on, and hopefully step by step we keep going with the good performances.
Trent, you started the move that led to the first goal. Did Liverpool need a goal at that point? Because Newcastle looked to be on top. I
think any stage of the game you need a goal, especially the opening goal. In a place like this as well, when the crowd's on your back from early doors, it's bouncing, tough place to come, it's intimidating, atmosphere's, you know, top. So it's important to get an early goal to kind of settle that down. And I think it was a good sequence of play, something we worked on in training, you know, especially on our triangles on the side, moving them around, and then penetrating over or through them. And we were able to do that. A great run from Darwin and a great finish. So it was important. And it was, you know, they haven't conceded a lot of goals. That's something we talked about as well. So, you know, to break them down twice is not a thing that many teams do. We're able to do that with two really good sequences of play, and it could have been more.
How good did it feel to be back, Virgil?
Very good. Being healthy is the most important thing in the world. And obviously it was a tough 6 weeks, but I'm back, and obviously I will do everything in my power to recover as good as I can in order to be ready for the Champions League game. What is very massive for us, but you know, it's a lot of hard work, a lot of hard work behind the scenes. But I'm happy to be back and happy to be contributing to a very important win. And now it's time to make the rest of the season as good as possible and do it all together.
You have to build momentum in any run. 6 points off of top 4 now, with a game in hand. How much rosier does the table look, and if anything, more doable, if you like?
Listen, I think this whole season has been proven that any team can beat any team, and we want to find that consistency, what we have been doing for the last 5 years, how good we have been, the standard we have been setting as a team, as a group, as a club, and the only way for us to start doing that is on the pitch. And today, and especially the last game against Everton, you know, we showed that, and we have to gain confidence in order to gain momentum. So this is a good step, and we'll take it and focus on the next one.
Is that very much the case, Trent? Echoing what Virgil said there, it's step by step. You build confidence, you build momentum.
Definitely. It's been a season where we haven't had much confidence, to be honest, and we haven't been able to build that. We've had good performances here and there, but no consistent period so far. And I think hopefully this is the beginning of one. We're used to going on winning streaks throughout seasons, so we know how to put them together. It's about coming together as a group and fighting for each other. And I think the last 2 games especially is what we've done. It's starting to feel and I think look like a Liverpool team that we're used to. So I think there's positive signs. Like Virg said, there's things that we can look at and get better at, controlling the game, especially when we're against 10 men. But you know, put that aside, to come here and get the 3 points is a great stepping stone for us.
In all of that, everything you've said there, how much is it belief? The form that you had, as you said, over the previous 5 years, it went away quickly, but you can also, it's much harder to bring back as well. But having the belief that you can get back to what you were.
That's the thing, you know, it's the same set of players as last season, team that nearly done the quadruple. So it's something that wasn't quite going right early on the season, but we put that aside and we've, like I said, it's looking like a team that can go and string together a lot of wins between now and the end of the season, and hopefully we go and do that. You know, it's a game of confidence, and I think right now we're just gaining that step by step, game by game, and it's the foundation to go and push on and hopefully go and secure a top 4 position for the club.
Thank you, guys. Well done today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, both.
Thank you.
Rafa, really interesting to hear what Trent Alexander-Arnold and Virgil van Dijk were talking about there in terms of momentum. It's only 2 wins in a row for Liverpool, but do you think it feels more significant than that in terms of trying to get their season back on track?
Yeah, I think so, because we are talking about the derby that was massive in terms of emotions, and now a difficult game against a very good team that they were doing really well. So it's not just 2 games in a row, it's just the way and the confidence. Also, in this case, we can talk about players coming back. So important players coming back. I think as a manager, I would say that both managers in the second half, they did what they have to do. So Eddie Howe was trying to press with 2 strikers using the pace of Isaac and the ability of Saint-Maximin to create something when they had the ball. And Jurgen was trying to, okay, I will give some minutes to some players and try to manage the game. At the end of the game, we have been watching a lot of chances because both teams tired and maybe thinking about the final and thinking about the game against Real Madrid, and they were a little bit more relaxed. And then players like Jota and Firmino, that they have very clever movements, they went between the lines, they were playing wall passes, and they have more chances. But I think both managers did what they have to do, and it's true that Liverpool is growing in confidence.
And growing in confidence, because in the race for Champions League football next season, which is what their aim will be now, they've moved much closer to Newcastle. In 6 days, they've gone from 12 points behind 4th place to 6 points behind 4th place. There are 3 teams between Liverpool and Newcastle, and Tottenham playing tomorrow can go above Newcastle and into 4th. But will the managers around them now be looking at them in the race for 4th place and thinking, this is a team who can catch up ground on us?
Yeah, I think so. I have the belief that the second part of the league, Liverpool will be stronger. And with these players, they have a good option now. We talk about Salah, always is fine, it's a threat. But they have Darwin Núñez with pace, and Gakpo that has some good movements and some pace and some good movements behind defenders and also between the lines. We were talking about that. But if it's not working, you have Firmino or Jota. They are very clever and they can link with the players around. So I think they have options now in attack. Van Dijk coming in defence, give confidence to the rest of the team. So if they can be a little bit more compact sometimes, because one of the strengths of Liverpool is the fullbacks going high. It's really high, really wide. But one of the problems that sometimes is a big gap. And we talk about Real Madrid and Vinicius. He's running into this space, into the channel behind Alexander-Arnold. So that is something that I'm sure the club will manage, but I'm sure that Ancelotti will be thinking about that. They will have more confidence, for sure, Liverpool, but still they have to keep the balance to be sure that they cannot concede or give easy chances to the other team.
Liverpool, of course, have experience in terms of title chases, in terms of races for the top 4. For Newcastle, they've gone from being mentioned in the same breath as the title race to now pushing into the top 4, and then potentially tomorrow Tottenham could. They have a cup final coming, of course, but in terms of the league, can that affect them as well?
This run of form has coincided with them getting into the cup final. Subconsciously, you don't know what that does to a lot of the players. It's a big moment for them. They've also had injuries to key players. You know, Jimenez has been injured. Joe Willett picked up an injury last week with a hamstring. So it's been tough for them, but you can feel that there is maybe a little bit of pressure. The expectation is now that all of a sudden, can they get top four? Can they win a trophy all in the season where things have turned around so well for Eddie? But that brings its expectations, it brings its pressure. I still think they're in a wonderful position as a club, as a team. But today will feel like a huge blow. You know, you lose your goalkeeper in the manner. You've not got him for a cup final. That's really difficult to deal with. Joe Linton, how is his injury going to be? You're going to have to manage the team, get everybody fit for Sunday, which is such a huge occasion, not just for the players, for the fans, for the club, for everybody concerned. But it's going to be a difficult week just managing everyone and making sure you can get everyone fit. Who's the goalie going to be? We don't quite know. Karius looks like he might be the one in pole position, but they haven't really got a lot of options because Dubravka is obviously suspended. No, he's cup-tied, which is not a good position for him as well. So a really tough day for them. But from Liverpool's point of view, having conceded 9 goals in the last 3 away games, I think it's Brentford, Brighton, Wolves, not superpowers. And then to keep a clean sheet today, have Virgil back. And as I said before the show, he's not been at his best this season. But you look like he gave him a bit of authority, and confidence and momentum takes time to build.
It wasn't a good day, though, for Newcastle United. Let's get some reaction from inside their camp. Alan Saint-Maximin is with Jeff Shreves.
Alan, can you put into words today what happened out there for Newcastle United in a very positive performance in many ways, but a terrible result in that you now lose Nick Pope for the Carabao Cup final?
Yeah, it's a very bad day. I feel sad for Nick Pope because he tried to help the team, and finally it's a bad red card for the team because he will not be able to play the cup final. And when you have a goalkeeper like him, he did everything and he helped us to be in that situation. So we need to support him, to be behind him as a team. But for sure, it's a bad day. I think we play very well today. We have the first chance with Miggy when we only start the game, and after that they score straight away. So it was painful, but we just keep going to play to try to create more chance, and we have that red card. So I think even with 10 men, we keep play very well. We still have a lot of chance to come back in a game with the head of Dadburn, after the shot of Callum Wilson. So we still have many chances. So I think it's very positive to see the way how we can play even with 10 men. And we need to remember and don't look what's happened for Liverpool, because even if they are not in the top position at the moment, they're still a great team, and we see that today. So for sure to be and play 10 men against that team, it's very hard. So I think we need to be focused for the cup game, because now it's done. But yeah, for sure, I'm very disappointed about the game, because it's always good to win before to play a very important game in the cup final. But we need to think about the final, and when you play a final, it's for win. And I know all the team will fight until the end to be able to win that important game.
As you said, it's always important to try and go into a final in a good moment. Do you feel there are enough positives in the game, even though you lost, to take into the final?
Yeah, as I said, the real positive, it's even with 10 men down against a very, very big team. They still play in Champions League. We play very well. I think we find a lot of good pass. We play as a team, and we create so many chances to be able to come back to that game. So we can be very proud of that, because I know many teams in that situation will don't create the chance we create. So I think this is very positive before to play against Manchester, because if we can play like that even with 10 men down, if all the players are on the pitch and we just give everything, I'm sure we can cause a lot of problem to Manchester United.
Well, you played your part today. You were named the player of the match, and we wish you all the very best for next week.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Difficult to be pleased with a Player of the Match award in a game in which your side has lost and you haven't been on the score sheet, which Alan Saint-Maximin, of course, would have wanted to be. Jamie, you said right from the first...
Really eventful and hugely disappointing day for you.
Yeah, a lot happened in the game. I think a good start from us. We created the first chance in the game with Miggy's opportunity. I thought Alisson made a couple of really good saves at the start of the match, and then we conceded 2 goals, which is unlike us. Disappointed with the goals, need to look back at them.
What about the sending off?
Against these types of teams, that's the last thing you want to see, especially with the scoreline. I really feel for Nick. It's a very difficult one. He's come out and I think just slightly misjudged the ball, and I suppose technically it is a handball. I don't know the rules on the red card. It felt like a harsh decision. The player was at an angle with defenders retreating to our goal, but that was given. I thought the reaction to that sending off was brilliant from the team. I thought we were still in the game. We were competitive. We created chances. I felt if we could get the 3rd goal, we had a route back into the game, but that never came.
Does 2-0 do nothing like tell the full story of what happened?
Yeah, I think we showed today with 10 men against 11 just how good we can be. As I say, we were comfortable, I felt, in our shape defensively, and we were a real transitional threat in the match, and we had some great moments. The goal never came for us, but if it could have done, the result could have been different.
Has that been a recent pattern, though? I think you've alluded to it. You've created chances, you're just not taking them.
I'd say, yeah, in the recent spell of games, that's definitely been there for us. I've had spells like this in my managerial career where you can not create chances and score, and vice versa, where you create chances and the goals just for whatever reason don't come. We're going through that moment, but I back the players to come out of it. We've got too much quality not to.
What sort of situations does leave you in for the Carabao Cup final itself, in terms of Nick Pope not available, Martin Dubravka cup tied, so Lloris Karius or Mark Gillespie are your only options, who respectively have not started the first team game for 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, there are options, but they've started games away from competitive action, so several friendlies, training games. I'd say they're both match ready.
Would you have confidence in either of those if you start them?
Yeah, of course, that's what they're in the squad for. And I've got to say, I know everyone here wouldn't have seen how well they've trained, but they've both been very competitive and been part of our group all season, so I've got full confidence in both.
What's the Joe Linton situation? We saw when he came off, you said, I did it for you. Were you trying to protect him from himself, if you like?
Yes, that's exactly what I was trying to do. I know how wholehearted and competitive he is. He doesn't want to leave the pitch for a second. That's the hallmark of his attitude and character. But I think he felt something when he shot, and I just wanted to make sure he didn't make it worse.
Do you feel, even though obviously it's not a result you're looking for today, you can get confidence out of many elements of today going into the final? Definitely.
As I say, with 10 men against 11, I thought we showed another side to our game, that we can be competitive in a different way. I was very pleased with the players. I'm disappointed with the result and disappointed with some aspects of our performance, but overall positive going into the cup final.
All of the focus, of course, will be on the goalkeeping situation. As the manager, how important is it indeed possible to try, because of course it's a huge blow to lose Nick Pope. He's been central to the team, that defensive unit that equalled the club record. His absence, how do you make sure that doesn't become the central focus entirely of the preparation for the final?
Well, I think there's been games, and Nick will be the first to admit, where he's had very little to do within the good run that we've had defensively. There has been moments also where he stepped up to made world-class saves for us. But we need to make sure we go into next week with the mindset that we protect our goal, as we have done all season. And regardless of who the goalkeeper is in goal, that doesn't change our focus on our defensive display.
How much are you looking forward, regardless of any circumstances, to this Carabao Cup final and the week ahead?
To be honest, in the moment I'm in now, I'm just focused on what's happened today. But I think quickly got to digest this and get it out of the system, because we have to look forward to what is a really exciting week for us. The preparation we need to get right, and we need to attack this game and try to win.
All the best, Eddie.
Thank you.
It is going to be a big job for Eddie Howe as a manager going into this cup final on the back of this run of results, Rafa. The fact that he has to turn them around with just one win from their last 7. They're coming into this after a defeat. They've lost their goalkeeper. He's not going to be available. It's Is it going to be a bigger week of preparation psychologically as it is physically for that game?
Yeah, I think that he has already started with that, with the interview, because he's talking about the positives of this game. We played with 10 players, we were very competitive. He would try to say that these draws were good games in some of the cases because they had chances and they didn't take the chances, but still they were strong. But this game, in the interview, he was talking about how well we were competing against a top side with 10 players. We know that we can compete with different ways, so I think he was trying to be positive.
They did. They created chances against 11 and against 10 men, and early on, if they'd taken a couple of those chances, the game could have been very different.
It's a big one for Almira, and this is Sam Maximin causing havoc in that defence. He plays him in. Early in the season, he scores that brilliant goalkeeping, but you know, just that little bit of luck that you need. You go 1-0 up, everything changes straight away. Liverpool, on the back of the bad run they've had away from home, the whole complex of the game changes. But they didn't quite have that little bit of luck. This is at 0-0, I believe, as well, that chance. Sorry, that was at 2-0, that chance. So even then, you get back to 2-1, this game on, you've got good players coming off the bench. It could have been totally different. But they did create good chances. This is a player that might, in the open spaces at Wembley, is going to be really important, whether you start him or whether you bring him on as well. Good piece of play. Just doesn't quite get that one right. Again, good goalkeeping. But things could have been so different for Newcastle today. Even with 10 men, they were a danger.
They were dangerous. We have seen the chances, but I think that what they did is just to put 2 players up front to play against the 2 defenders, and they have pace and they have ability. So they did well because they take the risk in defence, and he said that they kept the balance in defence, and he was right. But they were still a threat in attack because the 2 offensive players, they were very dangerous.
Looking at Newcastle's options in the goalkeeper position for the Carabao Cup final, obviously there's going to be no Nick Pope because he'll be suspended for that red card. Just a 1-match suspension for him. There's no Martin Dubravka, who came on for him today because he's cup-tied, having played for Manchester United in the competition. So it's Loris Karius, whose last game for an English club was the 3-1 defeat by Real Madrid of Liverpool in the 2018 Champions League final, in which he made those errors, which everyone will have seen, or it's Mark Gillespie, whose 3 Newcastle appearances were all in the League Cup, and the last of them came in September 2020. This is not a depth in the goalkeeping position, although who does have 3rd and 4th choice goalkeepers?
Exactly. I mean, who would have thought that this was going to happen today? You couldn't make it up how unlucky that they've been. But he's got one of his biggest managerial decisions to make, because he's got 2 goalkeepers that haven't played a lot of football. Who's probably played more under 23 football, more reserve football, whatever way you look at it now. Very tough for him. You know, and as a manager, do you go with form this week? Do you look at them both, Rafa, or do you think he's already made his mind up?
I think he will have in his head the order already. I think he knows who is the number 3, because normally you talk with the goalkeeping coach every week, every day. So you will know how they train, you will know which one has a better character, which one can deal with the pressure of final. So in my head, he will have a number 3 already.
Well, yeah, I think you pick Gillespie then, if you talk about pressure of finals after his last performance.
Yeah, but you cannot talk about the last performance. You have to talk about what you can expect from him in a crucial moment like a final. So then maybe international experience, I don't know, maybe someone that has been doing maybe well, but how they train, how they do every day, and the mentality. So I'm sure that he knows who will be his keeper, and something can change during the week, but the goalkeeping coach will have an idea too.
The difficulty is as well, Kelly, that back 4 has been so efficient all season. You know, they've been brilliant. Botman and Shah, the 2 centre-backs, have been magnificent. They've got a great understanding with the goalkeeper. The amount of times that we talk about Nick Pope coming and clearing one. He did one just beforehand, about 5 minutes before, and it worked well. It's going to be totally different. This week he's going to have to somehow get used to that defensive shape. Whoever the goalkeeper is, has probably not worked that much with that back 4 before. So he's going to have to get used to that very quickly.
They're hoping that Guimaraes is going to be back as well for that game, which just feeds into what Eddie Howe was saying about the whole team's performance. He said, we need to make sure that our goalkeeper is protected, that he isn't going to get that many chances against him.
Yeah, I think that, as you say, Bruno will be an important player for them, because they change a little bit the shape in the middle of the pitch, and it's not the same when he is there, or you put Longstaff, or you put Joelinton in this position, and give the others midfielders also more confidence, because Joelinton is doing really well in this position. You have to put him as a holding midfielder. If you have Bruno he can pass the ball. He's someone with experience.
Yeah.
He can protect the centre back, but not just because he's defending. It's because he's so good on the ball that he will not give the ball away easily. So he will be there. He will dictate the tempo of the game if he has a chance. So then he has to adjust little things. We will see how the injuries are, but I think that Bruno coming back will be a big boost for them.
Yeah, it's a big week ahead for Eddie Howe in terms of...
Clean sheet, 2 wonderful goals, and space for improvement, obviously, as well. So I thought we did really well. We scored wonderful goals. The red card would have been probably a wonderful goal as well, a quick restart. If Pope doesn't get his hand on the ball there, then Mo probably will score from that. I would have taken that, to be honest. Against 10 men, we didn't react now particularly well. We lost for a moment the momentum, and it was then difficult to get back. And Newcastle had nothing to lose anymore, and you could see that top team, top character, real, threw everything on the pitch. And we gave them too many set pieces. So, and in set pieces, it's not important how many players you have on the pitch. At least if you have one who can take it and 5 or 6 who go for it with the quality they have, it's tricky. And that's why, if we scored the third, I think that's it. We didn't, and so it was exciting until the end.
What did you like in particular about the goals?
Yeah, the link-up play, the ideas, the vision, the control of the ball for the Darwin goal was exceptional. The pass from and the pass from Trent, obviously, the pass from Mo for Cody, the movement from Cody, arriving there in the box, coming from the wherever he was before, but arriving there, and that they really, you can see now that they played only once together. That's really helpful. In that sense, the most negative thing is obviously that Darwin had to go off. We would have changed him anyway, but now he had something with the shoulder. We have to see how serious that is. Hopefully not too much. And so, yeah, clean sheet first since April. I can't away from home. I can't believe that, but yeah. So, and space for improvement, no problem. But when you are in the situation we are in, you have to fight through these things. And by scoring really nice goals, and of course we could have scored other goals, just one. We played really well through their lines when in the end Mo couldn't finish it off because there was a leg in between or somebody kicked him, I don't know, have to watch it back. How I said, third goal would have been extremely helpful, but so we had to fight until the end. That's what we did.
When we spoke before the game, you said, look, we can't pretend because we beat Everton on Monday, OK, Champions League race is back on. It's about building. We're not going to be perfect overnight. Is this the perfect example of that?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So you need results. That's how it is. So the boys need to understand, feel it as well, that if you do this and that, then you have a good chance to be on the right side of the result. And then, obviously, not long ago, we played against 10, and that was absolutely improvable. We could have done better there. It was like the relief of the 2-0, the red card, and all of a sudden one step less, not intentionally or I don't know, but it just happened, and all of a sudden the rhythm is gone. So, and then picked up the rhythm again. Yes, I would have wished we would have done that better. But in the end, I'm really happy that we got it over the line, because so many things happened to us this season. This time, nothing really happened. We were not perfect, but we were really good enough to win the game, and that's what we did.
And in the same way that when things go wrong, it happens, little things come together. When things go right, it all comes together as well. So, and it all stems from a victory like this. It breeds confidence. It breeds intensity. It breeds belief.
If that's the case, then Darwin has nothing. In a moment he has pain, and then in a moment he has pain. So that would be now the first time that somebody has pain, and it shows up that it's nothing. That would make my day. Let me say it like this. But apart from that, we take the result as well and go from here. So Real Madrid now on Tuesday is a tough test, but it's Anfield, and can't wait actually to play the game.
Well, Jurgen Klopp might feel like he can't wait